Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to do a review of the Apple Silicon MacBook Pro M1 machine. What's up guys, this is Crystel Cortez and I wanted to share with you my experience so far in using my new Apple Silicon MacBook Pro M1 machine. I am in no place a very techy user. I would normally just use my machine on a regular office work. So I do use Slack for communications in the office, Microsoft Teams for meetings and video conferences. I also use Jira for ticketing, and I do software quality assurance. So mostly everything is being done on Chrome. With the best that I do with my MacBook is to edit these videos, but these are definitely not 4K videos. My contents are mostly focused on information, so I don't really need to edit or make 4K videos. So at the best, I do HD videos. Now, I want to share with you my experience coming from someone that used to have a 2019 MacBook Pro base configuration and hopping into the base configuration as well of the new Apple Silicon MacBook Pro M1 machine. Okay, so I'll start with the ordering process. I did order my MacBook Pro M1 right after the launch. I think it was 1 hour or 2 hours after it was launched. And I had a delivery date of November 17 to November 18. So everything, when you order online, most of the stuff are coming from China. So some people in the US and other parts of the world were able, especially Australia, were able to get theirs November 17, which is as promised by Apple. But for people who are here in Canada, it added one more day. So instead of November 17, I was able to get my MacBook Pro M1 on November 18. I know some people who upgraded their MacBooks or Macs to, let's say, 16 gig of RAM or any other higher SSD out there. Some of them were able to get it on the delivery date of November 17, but most of them are still waiting for orders to arrive. I don't know what's wrong with Apple. Right now I know most of the base configurations are available to be picked up on your nearest Apple store, but if you wanted to get something upgraded like a 16 gig RAM or higher SSD, then unfortunately you have to wait more to get hold of your MacBooks or Macs. I, for one, wanted a 16 gig, but if you look at Apple Store right now, if you want to order online right now, the best that you could get is last week of December or early January 2021. So pricing wise, with the base configuration for the MacBook Pro, this new MacBook is definitely cheaper than the old 2019 MacBook. So why did I say that? They're both $16.99 here in Canada plus tax, but the 2019 MacBook at $16.99 only has 128 gig of disk space, while the new MacBook Pro M1 has 256 gig of hard drive. So that means before you actually have to add, let's say, I think it's around 250 to 300 to get an upgraded 256 hard drive. But in this version, in this latest release of the MacBook, the base configuration that they have is 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD. So that means you're getting actually one upgrade from the MacBook, from the last year's MacBook at the same price. Aesthetically, there's really not much difference in the 2019 MacBook Pro versus the new MacBook Pro. It's just that the keyboard is different. They still both have the touch bar, but the keyboard has been changed from the old MacBook, from the 2019 MacBook to the new MacBook. So you still have your touch bar, but instead of like a very long touch bar at the top, you'll see like how the escape key and the touch ID has been separated. They had their own keys now instead of it being brought all together in that one whole touch bar on the 2019 MacBook. You can also see that the keys are now higher up in the new MacBook Pro compared to the 2019 MacBook Pro. Camera wise, you are still getting the same 720p camera in both versions of the MacBook. Migration wise, from your old MacBook to this new MacBook, it's very easy using the migration assistant. There are some applications where you need to log in again. I noticed this in Microsoft Office applications, but applications such as Slack and any other native applications in the Mac OS, you don't need to re-log in after the migration. Now, what's the major kicker for me for this version of MacBook? As you can see, I have a setup of two monitors. This is because I'm doing QA work and I need to have lots of monitors. So my old MacBook, my 2019 MacBook Pro, is powering my two monitors flawlessly. But it's probably my fault that I didn't research ahead of time. But the new MacBook M1 machine can power two monitors at the same time. So this is my 2019 MacBook and this is my 2020 MacBook M1 machine. Right now I'm powering two monitors using a dongle for an HDMI, and then a dongle for the USB-C connection for this monitor. And for the other monitor, I'm using a straight HDMI to USB-C cable. So this machine is powering both monitors right now. But look, once I do this on the new MacBook Pro. So I'm just trying to move all the cables and dongle from the 2019 MacBook Pro to the new MacBook Pro M1 laptop. That's right. It can only power one monitor at any given time. So as someone who is used to having a workflow or having two monitors at the same time, this is a very big problem for me. I can probably solve this by getting a ultra wide monitor or getting a dock that can support display link. But after spending $16.99 on this MacBook Pro, do I really expect myself to spend more on getting a new monitor, a new ultra-wide monitor, and a new expensive dock? So again, it's probably my fault for not researching this thing ahead of time before ordering, before jumping into the gun. But for someone who has been using the 2019 MacBook Pro fluidly, I was expecting that the new MacBook Pro would be able to support whatever the current 2019 MacBook Pro can support and more. But don't get me wrong, I love this machine so much and it's performing incredibly for the past few days that I'm using it. Before, with my 2019 MacBook Pro, once people are in Microsoft Teams and they start opening their videos, God, this machine's fan will really blow up like crazy. It's so noisy, it's not even funny. But with this new machine, zero noise. I haven't even heard my fan blow up ever since using this last Tuesday. All native applications in the MacBook are running really fast, and even those applications that are running under Rosetta are way faster than how they act on the 2019 MacBook Pro. What's even crazier is when Google Chrome updated their app to native. Boy, it feels like I upgraded my internet even if I didn't. I'm running a 1 gig internet, but I still feel how slow it was in the previous MacBook. But with the new MacBook and after the upgrade, it was blazing fast. It's like how fast a Safari can work. Okay, so I'm just hopping on my MacBook Pro 2019 right now, and I wanted to open applications that I usually use at work. So right now I'm opening Chrome, and just loading the Momentum tab takes a long time for the MacBook Pro 2019. And I have an open Slack, and then I am going to open now Microsoft Outlook. And finally, we want to test how fast Chrome opens different tabs. So I'm just opening now google.com, CTV News, and CBC News. And look at how it then takes time for the MacBook Pro 2019 to open this Chrome tabs. And hopping on the MacBook Pro M1, I am going to do the same workflow that I did with the MacBook Pro 2019, opening apps such as Google Chrome, Slack, and Outlook. And of course, opening these different tabs in Google Chrome, and look at how blazing fast the MacBook Pro M1 opens all of this tabs. If you purchased the same machine, please let me know in the comments section below what do you think about it, and if you are thinking of purchasing one and if you have questions, please do let me know as well in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer them. Again, thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified on my next few videos. Thank you so much, guys. Bye!